Hi there, thanks for coming back to the channel. The title of today's video is 3 companies that crushed it during 2020. Keep watching and I'll give you my thoughts after the break. Hi there. Before we get into today's topic, if you haven't subscribed already, I want to start with a slight explanation. The title, 3 companies that crushed it during 2020, is because YouTube is very sensitive around words that relate to the global pandemic. So three companies that crushed it during lockdown would be my preferred title, but I'm not sure you're allowed to use the word lockdown unless you're an approved supplier of medical information or health information related to coronavirus, lockdown, etc. So that's why I've said 2020 instead of lockdown. Okay, let's get into the meat of the video. It was a difficult time for many businesses up and down the country, in the UK, but also around the world because of the pandemic. And yet for some companies, it was a massive opportunity. I remember in February, March, thinking about which companies would come out the other side of, and we're not out the other side, come out the other side of the pandemic in a better financial position than they went into it. And the 3 companies that I'm going to mention today have all done that. So without any more preamble, let's get into it. Number 1 might not come as a surprise to you, and that's Amazon. This is Jeff Bezos, CEO of Amazon. During lockdown period, lots of lockdowns all around the world. I think at one point over a third of the countries of the world were in some sort of lockdown or restrictions. That meant people were ordering more groceries, supplies, and other items from Amazon. So the value of Amazon went up. The level of business they were conducting went up. This is a Forbes article. Let me pull out some facts and figures for you. Amazon stock increased by more than 60% during 2020. So it's now trading at $3,000 per share. Mid-March it was $1,600 and now it's $3,000 per share. So Amazon's obviously gone up, and Jeff Bezos's personal fortune, he owns 11.1 and I'll put the reference to this article in the description. He owns 11.1%, and his personal fortune went up from 114.7 billion to 178.5 billion. I think it's actually higher than that now, but those are the figures as per this article. So Amazon profited from people staying at home and ordering more supplies from Amazon, and many of the non-essential items, many of the non-essential retailers were forced to close down around the world. So you could say Amazon had sort of unfair competition, or a monopoly, almost a monopoly of purchases in certain sectors. So Amazon was definitely one of the companies that profited during the lockdown and grew at an enormous rate. So that's company number 1. Company number 2, if you conduct business via computer and you understood that during 2020 you weren't able to have in-person meetings because of all the restrictions we were working under, you would know that Zoom also grew. I've got a graphic for this. I'm just going to put out some figures. Zoom grew it had 10 million users, meeting participants, I should be specific, in December 2019. And then in March, it went to 200 million. And then in April, it went to 300 million. Okay, so December 19, 10 million meeting participants. March, 200 million, and then April 300 million. Statista pulled together the data for that. So you can see Zoom grew massively. Now you might say, well, Mike, lots of people have just used Zoom and the free version, and that's true. Lots of people do use the free version of Zoom and have limits of 40 minutes for meeting participants up above the number of 2. But lots of people also take the paid plans. I have a paid plan. I use it for business webinars, and it's the pro plan. And other people have pro plans on an individual or company corporate basis. So Zoom has grown massively, and their corporate revenues from the larger clients, big businesses rather than individuals, has grown massively. So Zoom is also another company grew massively during the lockdown period. So let's come out of this. Let's go back to let's go back here. And the third company that has grown, perhaps not as much as Amazon, perhaps not as much as Zoom, but the third company has definitely grown and seen an uptick in their fortunes, is, and just waiting for this article to load, is Pfizer. Pfizer, as at the time of recording, Pfizer, company that's responsible for the coronavirus vaccine, or one of the vaccines that's been available and being administered to people, their stock price, following an overwhelmingly positive response to the efficacy of their vaccine, Pfizer's stock price has gone up, and earlier in the year it sort of bottomed out, but the stock price has gone up, and it says, according to this article in Fortune, it jumped up 8%, hitting a 52-week high of $42 a share. So Pfizer is undoubtedly one of the winners, or a company that has profited and is in a much better position because of the progress they've made during the lockdown period. So those are the three companies. I can think of one more, and that's Netflix, but I'm not going to go into details on Netflix here. But can you think of any other companies that have profited during the lockdown period? These are huge companies, and they've made huge profits during the global pandemic. So it's something that I was thinking about at the start of the pandemic, and I've just wanted to do this quick summary video here, just giving an overview of three of the big winners of the pandemic period from a business point of view. I hope this has been useful to you. Thanks for watching all the way through. If this has been useful to you, please give me a like. If you found some value in the video, click on one and two screenshots to watch another video. And if you haven't subscribed already, thanks for watching. I look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye bye.